Hey, what's up everyone, and welcome to today's video. This episode will guide you through the issues of the New Mutants published in 1983. Issue number 1. The New Mutants are getting accustomed to their new surroundings. Sean's hair is being washed by Stevie Hunter, as the other young mutants are watching. Sean is embarrassed by this and asks Stevie if this was really necessary. Stevie tells Sean she couldn't stop them if she had tried. She assures Sean it'll be for the better because her current hairstyle is simply outdated. Rain comments on how her hair never seems to grow and that it will never look pretty. Roberto grabs her hand and kisses it and tells Rain that her hairdo suits her perfectly, and that the color of her hair is just as fiery as her spirit. Rain's fundamentalist and religious upbringing formed her into a prude girl, and being flirted with like this causes her to wonder if Roberto fancies her. Stevie notices this and keeps an eye on Roberto's flirtations. Danielle jokes around and asks Stevie to please perform her beauty magics on her, so that Roberto would look at her the same way. Stevie tells Danny to knock it off and for Sean to hold still. Accidentally, Danielle sings with Sean and pulls out a memory of her mind, Sean's personal memories of what had happened to her. Her mom and dad, her brother and sister, as well as all the horrors she had to go through. These memories are all projected in 3D, as real as life. Sean attacks Danielle, being ashamed and feeling betrayed by what was just displayed. She tries to choke out Danielle and Stevie tries to stop this, but Sean uses her mutant powers to control and stop Stevie. Roberto then slaps Sean in the face, and Sean's control over Stevie stops. Danny apologizes and tells Sean she wishes this hadn't happened. But Sean asks Danny in return what she will say the next time this happens again, after she's laid bare their very souls. She tells Danny she should possess her and rip out her own beating heart from her own body to make her suffer. Stevie tells Danielle to take a walk, so both of them can calm down a bit. Danielle's hesitant to leave, but Stevie tells her it'll be alright. Just take some distance. Danny leaves and Roberto follows her to look after her, but Sam stops Roberto, explaining to him that crowding her right now is not the best thing to do. Roberto tells Sam that he's not just worried about Danielle, but Sean issuing threats along with the power she has is a scary but real danger. A bad beginning for a school. We follow Danny as she's lost in guilty thoughts, and she wonders what good it has done her to come to Xavier for help. She wanders around in the mansion and ends up in the wing where she's never been before, where the rooms of the X-Men are. Now empty rooms filled with the stuff of people no longer around. She sees a picture of Illyana, whom she met, but she doesn't recognize Colossus or Kitty, and she wonders if Illyana is also a mutant, just like them. She wonders why Xavier never talks about the X-Men and how something bad must have happened to them. She wonders if her and the other kids are supposed to take their place, but she also thinks that she most likely will not be around for that, since her powers are ruining any chance of friendship and happiness, just like they did back home. She stumbles upon an attic and hopes for it to be a place where she can hide for a bit. But as she climbs up the stairs, she's amazed by the amount of plants up there. She notices the plants haven't been watered for a while now and she takes up the job, realizing it will take her a while since the attic is so big. After a while, she and the other students get hailed telepathically by Xavier. They should all report to the danger room. It's time for the first training session. Next we see Moira and Illyana, arriving at the Israeli ambassador's residence in London. Moira has been summoned and she has no idea why. She's welcomed by Gabrielle Haller, and after dinner they will have a talk about her son. Gabrielle is familiar with Moira's work in the field of mutant genetics. Her son is about Illyana's age and has autism, she says. Moira says that she's not a psychiatrist, so this is outside her field. Gabrielle tells Moira that her son's autism is merely a symptom of something far more serious. She suspects her son to be a mutant, mostly psionic in nature, telepathy and possibly telekinesis. She tried every means but to no avail. Moira is her last resort. Moira is trying to make clear that most of her work is theoretical and that she's better off contacting Professor Xavier, but Gabrielle declines. She wants to keep Xavier out of this. As Illyana chokes on the smoke from Gabrielle's cigarette, Moira asks why Gabrielle is so persistent on keeping Charles out of this, since he is more skilled with kids and these kind of mutant abilities. Gabrielle responds by saying that she has her reasons, and after Moira tells her she has the right to know, Gabrielle agrees and tells her that Xavier is the boy's father. The kids, Stevie and the professor have gathered in the danger room. Charles welcomes them there and explains what they can expect from this room. The kids aren't really paying attention as Sam compliments both Stevie on her work and Sean on her hairdo. Xavier takes out some time to point out that even though he understands the kids' curiosity, he would like for them to respect the privacy of the other residents in the other wing of the mansion. He addresses them all, but obviously Danielle knows he's talking about her. Roberto asks Charles if they're supposed to become the new X-Men. Charles reacts snappy and tells Roberto no. He apologizes for lashing out and tells the kids that yes, this will be a school for gifted youngsters, whose students are mutants, but no, there will not be X-Men ever again. Not another team of mutant superheroes. That chapter is closed now. Roberto says he was only asking, and it was something they had all wondered about. Xavier tells him that the subject is closed. He then continues with his explanation of the danger room. He talks about the safety rules and shows the different variations of the room. He shows the gymnasium mode and tells them that Stevie will help them in honing their bodies to a level of that of champion athletes. Physical stamina for their abilities. Charles then shows the room's ability to project anything it's programmed to show. In this case, a monster that starts attacking. Sam tells the girls to take the professor and Stevie out of the control booth, while Roberto and him will try and hold back the monster. And suddenly the threat is gone. Charles then explains more about the room, how he can adjust it to the person inside the room, and how he can use holographic projections, yet also physical objects to cause real physical pain. He assures the kids that they won't be getting the programming the X-Men had been training with for quite some time. He tells them that their individual exercise has been programmed and their task is quite simple. Enter the room, cross it, and exit it on the other side of the room. Who wants to go first? Cannonball goes first. Thinking this will be a piece of cake, he triggers his mutant ability and starts flying towards the exit. Luckily he has a near invulnerable force field around him when he flies, because he smashes face first into one of the obstacles that pops up. He realizes that if he can't be more maneuverable, his powers will only get him so far. He then gets sucked into a tube and gets dropped to where he started. He failed to succeed. Next up is Wolfsbane, who takes a more careful approach, scanning the room for unexpected surprises. A panel in the floor drops down and she almost falls. She transforms into her transitional form and leaps towards the ledge. She's successful in grabbing it, but the ledge flips her in the opposite direction of where she wanted to go. Unsuccessful as well. When Sunspot enters, he wonders if Charles is using his powers to know what the others were planning on doing. He gets caught by a robot, appearing from behind a wall. He charges up his mutant power, kinetic energy transformed from direct sunlight energy, and he hits the robot. He thinks he can deal with the robot with a single punch, not thinking about the possibility that his fist won't impact in the way he was expecting. He gets stuck with his hands in the robot's body and struggles to try and get free. His energy resources get depleted as he struggles. He changes back to his normal form and still remains stuck. The others watching him from the control booth can't help but laugh as they see him fail as well. Apart from Dani. She's becoming scared for some reason. Karma is entering the simulation of a city wasteland. She thinks back to when she met Spider-Man in the Fantastic Four and fought with the twin brother. Her task in the room is to deal with the others trying to ambush her, as per Professor Xavier's orders. Sam approaches her and she immediately possesses him, hurling him at Roberto. She then gets jumped by Rain and has to yield. Next up is Danny's turn. Danielle has taken up the codename of Psyche. When it's her turn to step into the danger room, she's trembling with fear. Somehow she's scared of dying inside the room, regardless of the others having come out of the test unscathed. When asked by Xavier if there's something wrong, she tells him she's fine. She wonders if he can sense she's lying to him, and if he reads her mind and thinks she's a coward. She once again asks herself what she's doing here, feeling she doesn't belong here. She wonders what happens when she loses control over her powers again, and accidentally starts using her powers on the others. As she reaches for the door handle, she hesitates. What if Sean still holds a grudge for what happened this morning? She threatened to kill her. What if she uses this as her chance to get to do so? She yells out no and starts running away, as if she's being chased by all the devils in hell. We find her again sitting at the shore of the lake on Xavier's estate. Rain has come to find her and asks her how she's doing. Danielle asks her if the others sent her, and Rain tells her she came on her own. It's not that the others don't care about Dani, but they don't know what happened to her. But Rain could tell from Dani's scent that there was something wrong with her. Rain asks Dani if she's miserable because of her displeasure with her mutant powers. Dani in return asks her if Rain could tell that from her scent. Rain tells Dani that every impulse she's getting as a wolf is so nice to her that she sometimes feels like staying a wolf and not returning to her human form anymore. Dani tells Rain that she would miss her. Rain says that she would never leave her friends like that, especially since she never had any friends in Scotland to begin with. Dani tells Rain that they have that in common. Though Dani did have friends, with her mutant ability manifesting, she scared most of the friends away. She had become an outcast almost overnight. The only ones that stood by her were her parents and grandfather, and accidentally she had once pulled her dad's greatest fear out of his mind. She didn't mean to, but had no control over it. It was the image of a bear standing over the bloody remains of a dead Palomino pony, while fighting off a golden eagle. The bear also killed the eagle. Her mother and father were of the horse and eagle clans respectively. Danielle had shown them their deaths. At that time, Danielle did not understand, and her parents made light of what they had seen. A week later, her mom and dad went on a road trip, taking her dad's best gun and bow, and they left Dani in care of her grandfather Black Eagle. She never saw them again after that. Then a couple of weeks ago, she pretty much did the same to her grandfather, showing him his death. She tells Rain that she had hoped for things to change when Xavier invited her to join them, and when she met the other kids. To finally get the chance of a somewhat normal life. Until this morning, when she pulled the image from Sean's mind. She's struggling with what happened this morning and with her being scared and running away like a coward. Rain tries to tell her to not be so hard on herself, and tells her that they're all having trouble with controlling their powers. That's the whole reason why they're here to begin with. She tells Dani that Sean knows it was an accident, and that she reacted so violently only because it caught her off guard, and that if Sean had been here right now, she would tell her the same. A car horn sounds in the distance, and it's Stevie and the other kids. Stevie doesn't like the fact that Charles didn't seem to care that much about Danielle rushing off, and didn't want to search for her telepathically. She wonders if she's out of line by doubting Charles' motivations. Rain jumps inside the car as a wolf, much to the chagrin of the other kids, transforms into a human form and tells them she's found Dani. They ask her if she's alright, and if she will come along with them into town. Rain responds by saying that she just wants to be by herself for a little bit and won't be coming along, even though she does appreciate the invitation. Stevie tells the kids that Dani is old enough to make a decision like that, and that Xavier will call them all back if anything happens. Or so she hopes. They drive off as they're being spied on by agents in another car. The agents are reporting in about who are in the car to Wide Awake, and ask for further instructions. The person they're contacting on the other side appears to be Henry Peter Gyrick, senior member of the National Security Council. He tells the agents that they should maintain discreet surveillance, and that they will be joined by the other units when they end up in Salem Center. They are to do absolutely nothing as to not alarm the kids in the car. If that policy changes, they will be notified. Back in the mansion, Danielle enters the danger room dressed in her team's uniform. All by herself, against the house rules the professor had told them all about in the afternoon. She had been watching Xavier controlling the panels and figures she knows how to operate the device. She's trembling with fear. She pushes herself to try her absolute best and face her fears, without having to be ashamed, with no spectators. All alone, she can hold her head up high, as a Cheyenne should. She steps inside and robots appear. Her mutant skills will have no effect on them. She uses the experience she gained from roaming the hills in Colorado with the animals. Skills that help her in fighting off the adversaries and help her in not getting snared. She's able to reach the exit. The only one of the team that was able to. As she's ecstatic about passing the test, she gets zapped and gets knocked out. We see someone in the control room, as Dani slowly regains awareness. As Dani is in pain while lying on the floor of the danger room, that person apparently knows how to control the panel as well and programs the primordial sequence that we had seen before, the one with the predatory monster. which is making its way towards Danielle. It's hungry, and Danielle realizes this is not a test nor an illusion. This is deadly reality. Thanks for watching this video and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the like button and consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already, because that will help me out in growing the channel and being able to produce more videos like this one. See you next episode.